Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Gurren Otaku Council. As always, I am Ace.
And I'm Ace and McMillian.
And welcome back for another special episode. This is special episode number 6. But as always, if you would like to join the council and join me and McMillian as we discuss all things anime, then make sure you hit that subscribe button as well as follow us on our social media so you can stay up to date on all things about the council. And with that being said, let the meeting begin. The council is now in session. All right. So, good morning, good evening, everybody. Whatever time you're watching this, we are back. McMillian here for special episode number 6. Before I start this off, I would like to say I do apologize. This episode was supposed to come out a while ago. Not going to say how long, but a while ago. But due to life and work, it took a little bit later than anticipated. But here we are. So, today we'll be giving our fall 2021 recommendations. 2021, you say? Yes. But, however, we're doing it. So, deal with it. So, we're going to hop right on into it. But I will preface this. The first anime we're going to discuss today is not necessarily a recommendation. More of a, you might want to stay away from this one. But we're going to get into that. So, Platinum End. Go ahead and start us off, McMillian.
So this is just a brief synopsis. Ever since he lost his family in an explosion, Mirai Kakahashi, has lived a life of pain and despair. Every day he endures abuse at the hands of the relatives who took him in. As his anguish steadily chips away at his will to live, he is eventually pushed to the brink. Prepared to throw it all away, he stands on the edge of a precipice and takes the leap. However, instead of falling to his death, he enters a trance where he meets a winged being who claims to be his guardian angel named Nase. The angel offers him 2 priceless abilities and convinces him to go on living. To just further embellish this a little bit, this is a contest basically to see who will become God is the focus of this anime. And our main character, Mirai, is at the center of it all. Cool. A little bit more. The only people who can become God candidates are people who are who are about to take their own life, right when their angels came to stop them. So that's an interesting plot point. If you need to see the hook of it all.
Correct. But however, unfortunately, something about this anime, I think me and both McMillian can agree on this one. Just something about it just did not catch us. And how we're going to do this format for today's episode, we're going to talk about some dislikes and likes just to kind of give you a feel for the animes we're talking about. So we'll start with some dislikes for this. So number 1, the main character, I don't like him at all. I don't think he's interesting. I don't think he's compelling in any type of way, and in fact he might be even annoying, very, very annoying at sometimes. And I don't like him.
Nah, I kind of had the same sentiment, which is the premise of the show is so interesting, but I feel like the characters or the character that we have to follow is the exact opposite, because he has the motivations he has are so very simplistic and they don't ever really expound upon, I feel like, sadness or depression, which is the whole scope or encompassing thing of this anime. And it's just everybody needs to be happy because happiness is key to success, or
basically.
And it just doesn't go further than that. It's not it's a very shallow thing for something that felt like it was supposed to be deep, basically. And that's why. And the character just makes it just dull.
So yeah, the main character, I don't like him. The pacing, honestly, the pacing was all right. It wasn't that bad for an anime. Some pacings could be more horrible than what this was. So I would give it that. The pacing wasn't that bad for this anime. So that is one thing I'll give to it. But so within this anime, there's 2 forms of, I guess, fighting styles or something, if you will, that the characters in this show get. So they get either a set of wings or some arrows, but depending on which angel you have determines what you get, which power you get. And basically the the wings can counteract the arrows because with the arrows you can move at the speed of light, and the arrows move basically at the speed of light as well, but they're not as fast as the arrows. It's weird. But there's two types of arrows, a red arrow and a white arrow. The white arrow being it can kill people, and then the red arrow makes people fall in love with you on some Cupid type shit. Why does a god candidate need either of these type of, maybe the kill one I understand, but the fall in love one, I don't know.
I mean, they made pretty good use of the red one.
Yeah, the way they make them use it is interesting, but just the concept overall is just still weird to me.
Personally, I think the reason why like it's split between those two diasporas is because there's the eternal argument of whether if it's better to be feared rather than to be loved. Everybody's afraid of dying, so they give you the kill one, and then the love part, I feel like it's self-explanatory. If you love something, you'll do anything to make sure. Yeah. So I don't know. It's the thing that's odd for me is just how. Because those parts are, like I said, it's interesting parts. But the part, like, it was surrounded that I dislike is this anime has weird Zenkai boost moments where I feel like somebody should have definitely died.
But then yet they end up living.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, watch out for that.
But, I mean, well, people do die, though.
No, I know. But I'm just saying, like, the people that should, there's, like, I'm not going to go into the specific moment because this is just a warning, but there are instances where I'm like, this should not work, but it does, and it's stupid.
Yeah, but some stuff I do enjoy about the anime though is that the art of the angels, their designs. I do like the designs of the angels. I think they look cool for character designs and stuff like that. I think each one has a nice design to it, as well as the side characters. I think the side characters shine more in this anime than the main character did. And it's not a bad thing. You do want to have compelling side characters when you're watching anime. It's not just, all top heavy. Because if the side characters aren't interesting, then sometimes it's not even, worth watching it at all. So
definitely, yeah. I definitely agree with that point. I say this all the time. There's a side character that gets introduced pretty early on in this anime that I feel like should have been the main character. And it sucks in a way because depression and suicide is a heavy topic, and it's a very interesting topic because many people commit, fall into depression or commit suicide for a plethora of different reasons. And I feel like this anime was simply just focusing on the fact that you're not feeling happy enough for the main character, which is a hell of a dumb problem. Like, granted, sometimes it is just not the ability to feel happy, and I get that, but they didn't go on further. It was just more of like, oh, he lost his family, and he had a bad life towards like the beginning of the anime series. But after that, after those two things, none of the motivation was more of just like, I want to see everyone happy. And when you spread the net that wide, you tend to lose things a bit. And it just kind of becomes a generalization, which isn't really what you come to see a character's journey and growth. And I feel like for the biggest part of this problem for this anime is that this main character is kind of just blank.
He don't hit at all.
Yeah, and he don't really, in my opinion, grow as much over the course of this, which is crazy considering that these people are supposed to develop to become God. So
yeah. And then I guess the last main thing of where it really kind of cut me off is, as McMillian was explaining, the main plot of the story is basically we're deciding who's going to be the next god and whatnot. And then I guess the way the antagonist is going to go about it kind of threw off my expectations of how the anime was going to go down. I'm not really going to go, spoil it too much, but he's going on a tear basically, and he's handling business his own way, whether you agree with it or not. But then at the same time, that also might make it interesting as well. Some people might find the way, he's going about it, interesting instead of doing like a battle royale type situation.
Yeah,
but it definitely threw me in a loop though.
I didn't hate the villain at all. I didn't dislike him at all. I understood his motivations. I understood why he was doing the things he wanted, because he had he had a thing that was on a timetable. So he was like, I feel like if I accomplish this at this speed, I'll get what I want. Can't fault the man for that. It was just, interesting heroes and interesting villains usually are opposites of each other, and I don't feel like I got that either. But like I said, we're talking about what we liked about it, and I'll just end off on this. I think the premise is strong. I think the side characters shine. We kind of already said that, and I think if you can just not pay attention to the main character, that you might have an enjoyable time. But that is a huge hurdle to like leap over. But I would say like give it your own try, because I have heard mixed opinions on it, but a decent amount of people don't like this. Correct. But it is the reason. Like for instance, one reason I kept like sticking with it is I'm a huge fan of Death Note. Same people who made this, and it has some of those flavors there. There are times where I'm like, oh, look at the moral quandary, look at like the suspense or how they're gonna figure out this stuff. Yeah. But there are times where I'm just like, that was stupid.
No, I agree. Like, some moments is like, okay, this, they built the suspense up nice, and it was a nice little small payoff. But then there's other moments, like you just mentioned, like, what are we doing? Do with this information what you will. Us personally, we're not really vibing with it. Just something about it, just at least for me personally, it really just didn't really hook me.
Yeah, no, buyer beware on this one. I don't know if you'll have that enjoyable time. Like, if I just to recommend it, I wouldn't be like, oh yeah, no, this is gangbusters. But I would be like, hey, it's an interesting watch or interesting thing to put up in the background. But I don't know if everybody will like it. It's really like buyer beware.
Correct. So, all right. So we're going to go into our next one, and we're going to be talking about Takt Op Destiny. I almost messed that name. Oh, I can't say that name for some reason.
Just so you know, the inside joke, Ace likes to call it Takt Op Destiny, which is so hilarious to me because they do have OP characters in this. But just a brief synopsis. In this anime, it takes place within the United States, and it has been flung into chaos since the emergence of these aliens called the D2s. It's an invasion of a species that came from a black meteorite and that fell to Earth. After that happened, they had noticed that basically music were causing these aliens to attack towns, cities, people that were happening. So they banned citizens from playing any type of music. Further casual, after some time, even like within the present, it's still like a thing that's going on. But humanity has only one form of defense against these D2s, which are so funny because which are things called music arts, which are beings basically that work off of classical music, and they need a conductor to control them. So basically, someone versed in music to fight them. Granted, I feel like reading that off does not do it justice. It sounds completely stupid, but it 100% works. This anime has a lot going for it. I'll let Ace get a little bit more into that, but I really enjoyed this one. Save maybe 2 episodes, but
yeah, we'll get to that. But so we'll start a little bit on the positive side on this one. So the soundtrack for this anime is definitely amazing. Especially you will hope that, considering that the plot is centered around music. So you will hope that at least the soundtrack is decent for this show, and it is. I can confirm that the soundtrack for this anime is good.
Yeah, if you like listening,
that is a plus.
Yeah, if you like listening to soundtracks, this is definitely one I check out. Like they spare no expense. Even the sound, I wanted to say, even like the sound design itself is really good. Like when they're like the fight scenes, like those powers that the music cards use have all unique sounds and symbols to them. So that's also something to look forward to if you're going to check this out.
Correct. Another thing that this show has going for it is, like McMillian just said, the action, but the animation as well. Both the animation and action combined, if you like those high frenetic fights, those high intense fights, fast-paced fights and stuff like that, Takt Op definitely delivers on that. Me personally, I was not expecting it to have this type of fights when I first started watching this, but at least from the description. But when you watch episode 1, you'd be like, oh, it's one of these, all right.
It's one of these. And then you check the studio, and then you see it's everybody's favorite overworked studio, Mappa. So thank you.
Yeah, then you was like, okay, well, this explains it all. Mappa animated this right here, so that explains it. So yes, Mappa always does a good job with animation. So no further explanation on that part needed. But then, like I said, just the action for this as well was definitely good. all the different each music card has a different battle styles, which plays into the action as well. Then the D2s also being have variety of D2s to fight as well. They're not all just one and the same type of enemies, which is good as well. So each fight played out differently, which we know what you want in an anime, of course. And I think they did a really good job on that. Any likes from you?
So the synopsis didn't mention it, but I really liked the main trio that we get. It's a story of I don't remember his name, so apologies on that. But this should hopefully further your investment to going to go check it out because I don't remember the name. But it's a boy and basically like people who are they're kind of like his two sisters to him.
His name is Takt, by the way.
Thank you. That's right, Takt. The main characters named at the anime's named at the main character. Takt is on the road to basically two women who are basically like his sisters. One of them unfortunately suffers from an incident of attack of a D2, and Takt becomes one of the girl's conductors as she becomes this new form of life. And basically, it turns out there's a symbiosis relationship between them where every time that they fight, Takt is slowly dying. So they're like, oh, shoot, we have to figure out why that's happening. So it's a journey, basically. The anime focused on their journey to get to New York, which is the base for the Symphonium, which is basically the headquarters for where all the music arts and conductors reside and where they do all like their research on D2s and that. Throughout this road trip, though, we unearth a conspiracy. Get more on that later. But overall, like the heart of the story really centers around those three characters, and I feel like they all do a really good job. Even though, like, for instance, the girl that Takt is bind with is named Destiny. She's like kind of like emotionless and stuff like that, and you really get a sense of pride or accomplishment as you see her grow as her own person. So
correct.
That's one thing I really enjoyed about it, because she starts off emotionless, and by the end of it, she has her like own thoughts and feelings and opinions on things that she normally would not have.
Correct.
And it makes you as a viewer feel conflicted, because you like, damn, I watched this her original life form like die, and now I'm like on the fence about this character, but it really makes you care for him.
Correct. No, I will agree as well. I do like the trio. It wasn't all fighting all the time. Especially there was this one episode where they come into a little town, and the whole episode was basically going about why Tex lose reason, and he basically lost his reason for making music. And he was trying to find that reason again, and he met this group of people, and one thing led to another. Those people actually knew his dad and stuff like that, and one person actually was in the symphonium with his dad at one point in time, and he ended up learning a lot of lessons from those people that he met in this city, and he found his inspiration to make music again. Along with that, it was really good, really nice.
Yeah.
I love it when animes can do stuff like that, especially, and then mix it in with the combat as well. It's not all about action. We can tell nice deep stories as well, and they did a really good job with this as well. But however,
the dislike or dislikes, I don't know. I only have one. How many did you? I don't know if you had a lot.
It's really one, technically two, but we got the same thing. We talked about this.
Yeah,
so without spoilers, so this anime is a promotion for a video game. I do want to preface that as well. But however, be that as it may, the ending of this anime, without going into spoilers, was not all that. It definitely left more questions than answers. Mm-hmm. And it definitely left me feeling like, sometimes I have to tell myself, you're watching an anime, crazy things happen, everything is not, real to life. But then sometimes I'm just like, but it don't make sense though.
it don't have to be this weird. Yeah, basically that. I would say if you're going to check this one out, please do. It's a good watch up into the last two episodes. Those last two episodes will have you scratching your head.
See, for me, it's just the last episode. I don't know why he keeps saying he always says the last two episodes. For me, it's just the last episode.
So let me preface this, just so you understand, because you might also be like Ace and feel like it's only last episode. For me, I say last two because those two are inseparable to me, because they're kind of like a part one and part two situation. That's the only reason I said it. But regardless, the ending of Takt Op is not the strongest. Like it's not too bad. Like it's not like, oh my, like Game of Thrones level. Like what the fuck? But it's more like, my dog, that don't make sense. What? Okay, I guess like that's more of that instead of like Game of Thrones. Like, oh, that was terrible. Like that just betrayed those series. It's just more like, I would have never. What the hell? Like, it just has that one like little glaring issue. But overall, it's still a fun anime to watch. Some that you can sit down and enjoy. It's just 12 episodes, so you can blow through it pretty fast. But really good, really nice soundtrack. A interesting premise. Weird that it's a mobile game one. We'll probably not see a second season 2 because of it. But hey,
yeah,
I personally would like give it a recommendation.
Yeah, so. I will as well. The only other thing I did dislike, but I know it's a short anime, is just they really didn't go into how conductors and music cards are really made. But considering that it is a small, 13 episode anime, it's not. There's only so much, information that they could put into the show, so it's not really that much of a downfall to it. But that was just one little small thing that I wish I did get some information on, but probably will if if you go and play a game. But I'm not going to do that.
Yeah. So,
but I'm not going to do that. So, but that was it for me. Like Min said, I do agree with him. I would recommend it. It's just the ending may not be everybody's taste, but the journey to get there, I think, is definitely a good one. So I'm not going to let the ending fault the anime for that, and not at all. So moving on from there, we're going to go to our third recommendation here. This one actually McMillian watched. I did not get a chance to watch this one, so McMillian, go ahead and give it to us.
All right. Ready for long ass name the anime. Nah. It's actually called so this anime is called The World's Greatest Assassin Gets Reincarnated as an Aristocrat. You may have heard that mouthful of an anime before, you may not have, but the premise of it is basically the world's greatest assassin, who had sworn his allegiance to the organization that had raised them, had been betrayed and killed. And in doing so, they had a goddess had noticed that his skill set and was like, "Hey, I need you in this world to carry out a job for me. Do you think you can do that?" And he was like, "Sure. What's? I thought I was gonna retire, but why not? What's one more job?" And she's basically like, "Cool. I'm gonna need you to kill the hero of this world." So it basically focuses on how he prepares himself to tackle the responsibility of killing this world's hero. And just like in any fantasy story, the hero's OP as hell. So it's like, all right, what do I got to do to get myself ready to kill this guy? Like, what do I have to do, basically? And it's a very what do I want to say about it? It's if you like fantasy, if you like interesting stories and interesting characters, I definitely check it out. That's basically it for the synopsis.
Okay. Was this is there going to be another season on it, or was this like a one and done type situation?
It could have another season. Not to spoil anything, but it definitely could have another season. I don't know if it'll get it. I don't know how popular it was. I didn't really see that many people talking about it, but I recommend it to my roommate. He really enjoyed it, and I recommended it to some other people. Unfortunately, my friends are slow to take my recommendations, so I don't know their opinions on it yet. But I'll go briefly into like my dislikes. It's very few, and then I'll go into my likes about it. So some dislikes that I had about the series is there's a slight harem situation on, only slight, very little
for the
and
MC?
I feel like for the MC, and it just kind of distracts a bit from. What's going on sometimes, and they kind of use it for laughs, but it's never. I don't feel like it's ever done right to the point where I'm like, oh, this is hilarious. It's more like, all right, this is kind of cringy. Can we move past this a bit, like a little bit faster? And basically that's actually I just realized both of the things I wrote down are kind of playing off each other. The comedy at some point isn't the strongest. The strongest suit I feel like for this anime is the story that it tries to tell for this character, because it tells it from the perspective of like him changing from the fact of like just being a killing machine, because the family he reincarnates to is also a family that specializes in assassinations, because the guy has put him in one to basically like so he can further his skills on assassination, but in this world, like the world that he's currently in. That focuses that not only just as like physical, but like magical and stuff like that. Like it's a fantasy world, so he has to adapt to it, right?
Mm-hmm.
He over time in the story, he basically learns of like, oh, I can shoot. I'm not gonna work how I did in the old world. I'm going to evaluate and take on jobs that I want to do, and not just become a killing and not just be a killing machine like I was in my past life. I'm gonna make my own decisions. And not only that, there's also interesting like side characters because the anime can get dark at some point times because the main characters besides trying to kill the hero, his regular family, their job is to basically keep watch over the criminal underbelly of like this kingdom. So he gets sent on missions to basically take out some very messed up people, and that's how he ends up getting like one of his sidekicks. Basically, is that she was being child trafficked, and he saved her, and he was like, "I'm going to train you and take you from this." And basically give you a better life. And it can get pretty dark at times, but I feel like where it really shines is the fact that it shows you that people can get better or beyond like their trauma and decide to do something different.
Something different is becoming an assassin.
Understandable. Yes. Or owning a makeup shop. Not to spoil too much, but that is one of the things that a character does. So
okay, all right. So at least it's not all killing all the time.
No. It is a sad. Look, one thing I like about it is that a lot of times in assassin animes, they kind of except for like a Kame ga Kill in certain aspects, they gloss over like this is dark work. This is just we do this because we have to. That's usually like always a justification, but it never shows you like how gritty it can get in certain parts. I feel like. Except for Kame ga Kill. But this one does. It takes the time to like show like the dark parts of it, but also it's pretty light and fun at times. Like I like that's one thing. If I had another like major like about it, it's how it balances that dark and light.
Okay, so I guess would you only recommend this to like a certain type of your anime watcher friends, or would you recommend this to everybody?
So I feel like majority of anime fans are, for the most part, people who enjoy shonens, which are like high octane action and a little bit of power fantasy and stuff like that. And I feel like this satisfies those criteria. It's just that like, but I would also recommend this to someone who's maybe looking for like a light, somewhat deep story, because it's not too deep, but at the same time, like it hits on points that I feel like a lot of animes would, like how the switch, like, I feel like it hits on points well in the fact of like the character isn't just some like homicidal maniac killing people. It's more of like, this is kind of just a job and I have to do it for XYZ reasons, but also Correct. At the same time, I'm an actual genuine person and like I deal with this on the side and then fantasy world. So I feel like I do that for someone who's like looking for a fun little, a fun story with some decent world building and interesting characters. Because the side characters, the side characters and main characters are really, I don't think I dislike any of them, and they feel fleshed out for the most part. Like I get their motivations and why they decided to become assassins for the most part, or do the things that they do in the anime. So
okay, all right, okay,
yeah.
Well, all right. Well, we're going to move on to our next one. This was one that I have watched and McMillian didn't get a chance to watch, but I'm still going to let him read the summary for us. The Faraway Paladin.
So Ace might have to fill in the blanks for this somewhere, but basically Faraway Paladin is a anime about a guy who was born into the world after a life of born into a new world after a life of stagnancy. Will awakens to face to the faces of skeletons, ghosts, and mummies. Living in the ruins of a city long fallen, the three raise Will as their own. The skeleton Blood teaches him to fight. The ghost Gus teaches him magic, and the mummy Mary teaches him religion and responsibility. Most importantly, they all teach him love.
So just as my friend McMillian here described, Will gets reincarnated to this world. They don't really go too deep into his past life, which is fine. It's another isekai. So he gets reincarnated to this world. He gets raised by these three people, the skeleton, the blood, and the mummy. Not blood. The skeleton, the mummy, and the ghost. going from there as they raise him, they basically raise him from birth to I think it was maybe around like the age of 15-ish, 16-ish. So we get to see him raise him up to that age. The pace is really, really fast because it wasn't really that slow. After some events happen, I'm not gonna go to that's very spoiler territory. But after some events happen, our boy Will has to end up leaving his family and actually goes off and set off into the world. So now, this entire time that he's being raised by these three, he hasn't set foot out from the city that he's being raised in this entire time. So he knows nothing about the outside world. So the whole premise of the story is, well, before I get to that, one more important thing is also in this anime, everybody prays to gods. There's like 6 or 7 different types of gods that everybody prays to. And when you become of a certain age, you choose a god to dedicate your life to. You basically get blessings from that god and like, power-ups and stuff like that from that god as well. And which would technically lead me to my first dislike. It may not be for everybody because it does go deep, not necessarily too deep, but it does focus a lot on religion and stuff like that. And so I know this might not be everybody's cup of tea and stuff like that. So if you're not really like a religion heavy person and stuff like that, the religious stuff might throw you off because he does pray a lot in this show. So that's one thing. But he goes off on his adventure to learn more about the world and basically fulfill his oath to his god that he pledged to. That's basically the premise of the anime. So he has to go out and learn about the world. He knows nothing about it. And he ends up meeting this one other character. His name is Melindor. He's an elf. So it's a magical type, fantasy world. So he meets an elf and they basically, have it off and stuff like that. And I'm not going to spoil because the way they meet and stuff is also spoilers. So I'm not going to talk about that too much, but they basically go on the journey together and you see how he basically gets the title of Faraway Paladin.
Okay. So is the story summed up within this first season or do you?
Not at all. It's definitely going to be another season. As far as the story goes, because like I said, mainly just the plot really just revolves around him going around doing good deeds for his god and making her name come out into the world more because for whatever reason, his god, everybody really stopped praying to her for some reason out of all the other ones. So she's trying to go around and spread the good faith of his god again and spare her name and stuff like that and stop evil calamity from happening again and stuff like that, if you will. The chosen one, if you will. Zelda type situation going on.
Got it. Okay.
So yeah, that's it. But some of my likes I do like about it though is one is it has magic in it. I'm a big fan of magic. So the main component of the magic is they do incantations. So quick one word incantations. Sometimes, multiple words, you can combine them and stuff like that, make different spells and stuff like that. So that's basically the magic power system is for that. Some other things I do like about it is, though it's not much, they do a good decent job with the world building from what they do show because we're seeing the world building from the eyes of Will because we don't know just as much about this world as Will does. So he's learning, we're learning just as much as he's learning.
Yeah, that's one thing I feel like is good with isekais. They always, is the fact that the main character is learning just as much as the audience member usually at the same time. So
correct. Now one thing I will say though is sometimes Will can be a little bit on the Takemichi side, a little crybaby-ish, and it's just like, come on, Will, get it together. let's pep it up here, sir. But no, it doesn't. No, I'm not saying this anime will change the world or anything, but it's a nice little watch. If you're still looking for something to watch, it's not a bad watch. It got nice nice action in it as well. The story, like I said, the story isn't too deep or anything. It's just really just the main plot is just him going and spreading the good faith of his goddess, if you will, his deity, and him just going around doing a whole bunch of good deeds. And once again, like I said, being the chosen one, also stopping calamity from happening again. So, I mean, that's pretty much it. Not really too deep about it.
It sounds good. I said it sounds good. I'd check it out.
But like I said, it just I know the religion part might just be a turn off for a lot of people.
So for some people that's a very that could be a hard stopgap. So, but that definitely piques my interest. I'm big on fantasy, so I might check it out. Any other I don't really have any other questions because it would breach spoiler territory. So I'd have to.
Yeah, but like I said, yeah, because a lot of stuff that happens at the beginning that I didn't get into is very spoiler. Like the reason why he goes out and set on his journey is the spoilers. So I didn't want to get too far into it, as well as some of the stuff that he does when he gets out in there. But yeah, you're following along with this journey to become the Faraway Paladin. So that's pretty much it. One of those type situations.
All right, cool. Are the well, I guess one last thing. Are the side characters also interesting? Like, or is it just kind of just focusing on the main for the most part?
So for the most part, it's really just focusing on. So he does end up. He forms like a small party of 4, but really the only people you get to see grow is the main character and his elf friend. Those are really people that you can actually see character growth and character build within this, at least within this first season of the anime. Because everybody else that you get to meet, all the other side characters, they're already established. Like there's this one side character that he meets that's like he's a famous adventurer, so he's already established and stuff like that. And what's up? Were you about to say something?
I was about to just ask, did you feel like that hurt the story in any way? Because sometimes I know people that can be like a double-edged thing where it's like this character's cool, we'll get to learn more about him later, like I guess as they grew or how they might change. But sometimes I know that can be detrimental for some people. It's like, all right, well, they're just kind of there.
It depends because as the anime goes on, his groups get bigger and stuff like that. So maybe if they bring in more side characters and we see their growth and stuff as well, I think it'll do wonders for it. But as far as did it hurt the anime? I don't think so because the story is focused around Will and him going, like I said, it was really much focused around him. So thankfully we did get to see him grow as a character, if not nobody at all. But at least I guess you can say the second main character, his elf friend, which he is the second main character basically. We got to see him grow as well. So because the way you meet him is, like I said, spoiler territories as well. So I don't want to go too far into that.
But that sounds okay. I was just wondering because I know sometimes that can be a hindrance or a boon, depending. But it sounds like they do a good job using Will and his friend. So
yeah, like I said, I don't think it hinders from because all the other side characters that they do meet, they're already established characters and established in the world and stuff like that. And so I think it makes sense we're not seeing character growth and stuff from them because they're already well off and stuff like that. So
yeah, makes sense.
But that was it, and so we're gonna head on to one more anime. So this anime that McMillian watched and I did not, but it is called Blue Period.
All right, guys, painting. That's not the synopsis, but basically that's what the focus of the anime is. So, second year high schooler student named Yataro Yaguchi is a delinquent with excellent grades, but is unmotivated to find his true calling of life. Yataro spends his days working hard to maintain his academic standing while hanging out with his equally unambitious friends. However, beneath his carefree demeanor, Yatora does not enjoy either activity and wishes he could find something more fulfilling. Until one day he decides to submit a painting to his art class called that I believe he just calls it Blue Period, and it basically changes his whole world. He wants to become an artist, and through this anime you get to see his journey of what that looks like for him. And it's honestly the just to talk about like what I really enjoy about this anime. It's a very simple, just like coming of age story. I feel like everyone's probably been there before, trying to figure out exactly what they're trying to do. Some people still struggle with it, but I feel like if you've ever like had a hobby that you were really into, or like that you thought you could like make a profession, anime would probably touch you. It's a slice of life, obviously, that just focuses on this character's growth, and just to talk a little bit more about what I also like, besides the main character, the side characters are also like fully realized, fleshed out people. Like you get and what's cool, it's interesting because if you're watching it as a person who isn't into the world of, I like art like a lot, but I can't draw to save my life or paint to save my life. So if you're not into the world of art, the anime does, I feel like, a pretty good job of like you putting you in the main character's shoes of like, if I want to take this seriously, what do I have to do, and how much do I have to sacrifice to put it at the forefront? Because the side characters, cool enough, are all of them are all already on the journey to become professional artists or trying to do so. So it's really strong. I feel like it's a really strong point of this anime.
Okay. Painting. Mm-hmm. Is it good?
Yeah, actually, the art that they show in the show, it looks great. I can only imagine what it probably looked like in the manga, and also probably how big of a headache this was to make, because manga is already very detailed, so I can just imagine how detailed they had to be for an art-centered, art-driven manga. But it's good though. The visuals are great. There are moments where they each do like their own where you get to see each character's kind of like what they're specialized in art is for, or like what they drives them to be an artist, and it's really good. There are even some like really touching character moments. Like I won't get too far in, but like how the synopsis mentioned that Yatora's friends are also somewhat like undriven, unmotivated people. There's a part in the anime where they're like, hey man, because you decided to risk it all in pursuit of this, I was able to find my passion. And I was like, that's cool, because in life, that's usually how sometimes it works. You know, it takes a domino to really show that people can chase what they want. It takes like one person doing what, like chasing after they dream to encourage another. So that was like a big part of it. If I had to talk about dislikes about the show, at times, unfortunately, because they kind of made the main character a blank slate to, I feel like, be a passenger for the audience, at times he cannot be as compelling as probably a lot of people would like. But I feel like the side characters make up for that, because there are moments where side characters really shine. Like there's an episode that focuses on one of Yatora's friends that inspired him to go into art, and all the things that they had to deal with. It's a really good episode. Like the anime does a really good job, I think, of like just showing like what the pursuit of going after someone's dream and being good like can take. So, and how that can affect, people.
Yeah. Okay. Was there like a specific painting that he was working on for like throughout the anime, or just a specific painting that the main character made, or just one of the other characters made that you like the most?
There is one. I won't say exactly what it is because it's kind of integral to the plot, but I'll say this. So since they're in high school, one of the big main focus for this season is to pass an entrance exam for a art college. Because if you've watched enough slice of life anime, or just maybe played some JRPGs, you know that like high school for people in Japan is like hella serious. After your second year, like you have to know what you're going to do in life, because workforce, if not college. And that's it. That's why everything JRPG thing is like based in high school, if it's not like a fantasy world. So it's that's like one of the driving forces of the first season, at least. I don't know where it is currently in the manga, because right now like Netflix is producing it. I hope we get like a season 2 turnaround, because I really would like to see how this journey ends for the guy. But if not, I'm starting to collect manga again, so hey. But there are multiple. I feel like there are multiple art pieces. Like if you want to see art, they're going to show it to you. There's multiple art pieces besides, not just like the main characters, but like the other students that you get to see as well.
All right. And I think you mentioned it's not just all necessarily painting. It was other aspects of art. I'm assuming stuff like sculpting and other stuff like that as well. Maybe.
Yeah, there was. So I think they touch on it briefly, but there's like different forms of art that people like focus on, like different types, like composition. What is it? The different art styles and stuff like that. I'm not going to try and remember or say them because I will butcher them, because I have terrible. When it comes to naming things, it's terrible.
No, I feel you.
But there are multiple different types. Like painting isn't just like the main focus because a lot of a decent amount of it all starts with drawing. But I think, but they do touch on other aspects of painting, and I think I'm only assuming, but I'm pretty sure based on how long the manga is right now, that when he go, when they get to like college years or something, they'll probably show like completely different art styles other than drawing and painting. But right now, I want to say in the first season, that's kind of like the focus was, drawing art and stuff like that. But they have different characters. There are different characters that focus on different areas of art. Because when they're applying to an art college, they ask you like, what is your focus, like in terms of your art style?
Yeah.
So
okay, all right. Well, if you're a slice of life fan, this seems like a good pickup. I'm not that big on slice of life. I'm trying to get more into it, so it's like something I'll go and check out. So going off of there, we're going back to animes that both me and McMillian have seen now, and Fena the Pirate Princess. Give it to us.
All right. So a decade ago, a tragic shipwreck separated Fena Houtman from her childhood friend Yukimura and took her father's life. Now, at age 23, she is trapped on an island and is doomed to spend the rest of her life selling herself to men. On the night she is to be forcibly wed to a client, Fena hatches a plan to escape from her employer, but two old acquaintances unexpectedly intervene and help her run away, which her life is then changed forever.
All right, so as the title suggests, Fena the Pirate Princess, Fena goes on a journey to was that in the title, basically to find Eden?
That not originally, but hey, you said it
now, but I can't remember what you said. But anyway, so she goes on her journey to find Eden, which was this place that her dad was trying to get to. But he never got there because some unfortunate events happened. But be that as it may, he passed that will on down to his daughter, and now Fena is on this journey to go find Eden. And I will say that I love like a good treasure hunt type movie or show, and this anime definitely gives that type of vibes.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I told McMillian it gives me a lot of National Treasure type vibes to it, and I appreciate that very much.
There's
much.
Also, besides that, another thing I really liked about this anime, it has a very old shoujo kind of feel, like where it's just like this wacky adventure with like that centers around a female protagonist with all her like different counterparts and stuff like that, and it executes on a very fun journey. I feel like you get to learn all the characters and their motivations. Except maybe like two, with their kind of like joke characters. But for the most part, each character feels like they're trying to help Fena achieve this goal for their own like reasons as well. Like it's not just kind of like, oh, let's just follow this plucky girl because But like overall, each character kind of stands out to a certain degree.
So basically, they were her group of friends that came to be. They were ordered to basically go on this journey with her. But as they go on their journey, they actually start learning more about Fena. They actually start becoming attached to her, and then they be like, okay, we're no longer on this journey because we were told to do it. We want to be here because she's our friend now, and we're gonna be here for her to see this through. It goes through a lot of ups and downs. This anime is very fast paced. I will say the antagonist for this show was wonderful. His reasoning for being the guy he is was is a very, very good ass reasoning for him being how he is. Like, it's not too many times you see an antagonist is either just, I'm just going to destroy the world because I want to, or I was done dirty in my past. Though he was done dirty, man. Listen, per one of our last episodes, I become a demon too.
I become a demon too. You know what I'm saying? I'd be evil.
I feel him. So a very good antagonist for this show, which definitely helps it out because you got to have a good antagonist going along with your treasure hunt. What would be the reason of the treasure hunt if there wasn't somebody stopping to get the treasure,
trying to stop you at all costs?
Yeah. As McMillian did say, I do agree. The side characters, well, the main group as well, they're very well established. We got enough time to see each character be their own person. I think they did a good job with that. Though he's saying these other two characters, the joke characters, were basically the twins. I like the twins; they're funny as hell.
Oh no, they're great. I'm just saying, like, when I think of the stuff that like motivated them to go. It's just like, yeah, Fena. We just here for the adventure and to help this girl out, which is fine. It was just like other people got their own like little stuff. So
yeah.
That's how it's like the joke characters.
Yeah. It's not an action heavy show, but there are action moments in it. So, it's not bad.
Yeah, I feel like they animated it very well from like the small action set pieces that they did have, so it's not bad.
Yeah. But as far as some stuff that we don't like about it though, I will say that unfortunately this was another anime that was hurt by a weird ending. I'm not going to get too deep into it, but I would just say this. The ending basically did a 180 on this anime. It went from 0 to 100 real quick. Like, the ending is very spoiler heavy, so I'm not going to say what it is, but it just basically turned everything on its head, and not in a good way, in my opinion.
No, definitely not. If I had to describe it, it's a bigger what the fuck moment than Tax because
100%.
Because it kind of nothing kind of led up to it. At least in Tax there was like hints or stuff about it, but like this one it was just like, yo, where is this coming from? So take this recommendation, like I said with Tax, just with a slight grain of salt. You're probably gonna enjoy the adventure. It's just the destination is just gonna be like, huh?
Yeah,
really?
That's basically it. Yeah, it's a nice little adventure that they go along because they're finding clues along each episode that'll help them get to Eden one step at a time, and then we finally get there, and it's but the journey though is a very nice and heartwarming journey to get there though.
Yeah, you'll probably like the characters and the antagonists, and their whole back and forth is really good, but. Like they ended. They didn't go hit you with a right cross. You're not gonna be ready for it.
Yes, I will say if you have seen Fena the Power Princess like fully through and the ending caught you off guard as well, please let us know how you feel about it as well, because it definitely caught us off guard as well. And but once again, it's anime, so everything is not always is what it seems. Everything is not true to life, so. I have to keep telling myself that sometimes, but still, once again, it don't make sense. So I at least like some stuff to make sense, though. I know it's not real or anything, but that don't mean shit can't make sense.
Makes sense, exactly. I say that all the time, anytime I'm working on this D&D campaign.
But other than that, yes, it's a nice, feel-good little story. The characters are nice, amazing. They all have good dynamics with each other, and the overall adventure was a nice one. So once again, I'm not gonna let the ending take away from the overall anime. It is a good watch. Once again, if you just need, you need something to watch, might as well add this one to your watch list as well. It is a 13 episode anime. It's it's one of those one and dones, and I recommend it. I recommend it.
Yeah, it's a nice. And one thing I forgot to mention: this and Blue Period have a really, in my opinion, a very good English dub. So if you want something to throw up in the background as well that you don't fully have to pay attention to all the time, though I would recommend both of these. Granted, Blue Period and this will probably at times drag your attention away from like if you're working on something, but for the most part, these can be enjoyed just leisurely. I feel like because of their dubs, because of how good they dubbed it.
I can't remember if I watched this in dub or sub, actually. So you watched this in dub?
Mm-hmm. I watched it in dub. It's not bad.
Okay. That's
not
rare.
bad. I think I checked out an episode in sub just to see which one I prefer, and I could go either way, honestly.
Okay, well then that's another bonus for me, because it's rare when you find a good dub of an anime. So if it has a good dub, then yeah, this is another plus for me. I don't think I watched it in the dub. I think I watched it in the sub.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so if you like treasure hunts, definitely give this one a go. And then we're going to move on to our last recommendation from the fall 2021 season that we have here for today, ladies and gentlemen. The Ranking of Kings.
Now, this is no longer a sleeper hit. And I know this is no longer a sleeper hit because it's everywhere. But we didn't want to not talk about it, so it's going to end this off. But basically, Ranking of Kings focuses on the people of the kingdom look down on the young prince Boji. who can neither hear nor speak. They call him the useless prince while jeering at his supposed foolishness. But as the series goes on, we learn not only the fact that there's more to this boy than meets the eye, we also learn that there's more to the overall kingdom than anyone actually thought. Going on a very heralding adventure to see how Boji grows as a person who wishes to become king of his, become from a useless prince to the king of his nation, as well as the unfolding of everything that led to Boji being the way he, turned out to be.
Correct. So as Million said, this is really not a sleeper hit anymore. If you've been paying attention to both the fall season and the winter season, Ranking of Kings was one of those animes that was basically exploding during this time as well, along with, Attack on Titan and your other Demon Slayer and stuff like that. So you probably have heard of it, if not already seen it. But this one is definitely a must watch. As of this moment, season 1 is now over with. And I would give it at least like a 9 out of 10. Probably a 10 out of 10, but it's at least a 9 out of 10 for me. It's very rare when you find like when you just pick up an anime and it just bangs like hard.
If I could just steal away from your point real quick. When I think Ace recommended this to me and I was like, sure, I'll check it out. I got time. And I was like, this art style is not what I think when I think like really good anime, but sure, why not? And it thoroughly surprised me. It's made by the same people who used to be in charge of Attack on Titan, and they put their whole foot in this My God. It's really good. The story is really, really good and fleshed out, and nothing is legitimately what it seems like at all.
Not at all.
And you get a really compelling yet sweet and kind story that has genuine dark moments and has darker subject matter in it at times, and you would probably never expect it from looking at the art style. But so let me just say this: if you are on fence about watching it because of how weird the main character looks and how odd the art style is, kind of like weird child Blue's Clues type esque art, don't.
Please don't.
You will be robbing yourself of a really good show experience. It's really good.
It is really good. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was just gonna say the characters really compelling. I really don't dislike anybody in this anime. There are people who deserve to get their ass beat, but they have, those moments where someone does something you like. I don't condone it, but I understand. Basically throughout this whole anime, I'm like, fuck. I want to beat some of y'all asses, but I see it, but you still need your ass beat.
Yeah. And then just another piggyback off what Mimilia said, there's a lot of dark moments in this show that you would not expect from first glance, especially like from like the first 2-ish episodes. You're just expecting like a nice, heartfelt, warming story, following Prince Boji become the number 1 king. And though it was sort of that still to a certain degree, but the plot just definitely turns up from 0 to 100 very fast, and you're like, well, wait a minute, what's going on? And then there's some scenes that you definitely didn't expect to see. Like it can get not too gruesome, but there are some gruesome scenes in this anime. It's just like,
if I had to compare anything with like recency, if people have seen the animated series Invincible, it's somewhat like that, where you first expect it to be a sweet story about a superhero family, and then it turns into something else entirely.
It turned into something else entirely. That's a good analogy. I like that. And that's basically Ranking of Kings. And then, like I said, it's hard for when you just nobody, at least to my understanding, nobody had this on their radar. It just popped up and then just caught fire like that. And I'm like, because I started seeing people talk about it, and I was like, I'm like, what is Ranking of Kings? I read the synopsis, and I was looking at the art style and stuff like this, and I'm like, this don't look good. What are y'all talking about?
Right? Yeah.
But lo and behold, I was like, you know what? I ain't got nothing else to watch right now at the moment, and I'm supposed to be watching stuff for this season anyways. Let me go ahead and put it on. put it on, start watching the episode 1. Okay, all right, Boji, I can get with Boji. Why not? He's a nice little character. Why not? Why not? Let's follow along with Boji. Oh, they doing Boji like this?
Man.
Oh, okay. They out here killing people. All right. Wait a minute. Conspiracy theories left and right. And just like, whoa. Yeah, this is not what I signed up for. I signed up for a lighthearted, feel-good anime. And
what you got was mystery and lightheartedness. Because one thing I really like about it is the balance between the dark and the light in this anime.
Yeah.
It's just as heartwarming as it can be gut-wrenching. Yeah, like it'll flip that 180 real fast, and it's real, and it never feels out of place, I should say, because a lot of things that try to walk that tightrope don't know how to balance the two sides, and it'll topple over sometimes. But that, I feel like Ranking King's is a master class at.
No, I agree.
Flipping the script of like lightheartedness to this is deathly serious right now in this moment. I don't really have much dislikes for anything about Ranking Kings. Man, I was trying to think because I thought I had one, but then I think my mind just was like, no, you don't.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really have much dislikes.
The one thing I think that people might not like a lot, it depends on how compassionate you are. The beginning, for some people, I could see being a little, like they probably would call it a little whiny or like just too feel good, because the first episode does a lot to play off of Boji's like good, kind-hearted nature in a way, and also like sadness and stuff like that. And I know for some people be like, okay, this is a little bit too
much. Yeah.
Well, not even too much, but more of like it's too sappy. Like some people might say that. I would just say if you think that, just give it some time. It is legit only because it only serves as an introduction to show you what he's had to go through for most of his life up to that point. After that, it legitimately, in my opinion, goes away. Like there'll still be times where you feel for him, but it won't feel as drawn out or over the top, I feel like, as in that first episode. But that's a very small nitpick for someone to have. Like, I don't even feel that way, and I'm not necessarily here for all sappy stuff. But that's one nitpick I could see somebody having. Other than that, I think if you honestly give this anime a chance, like honestly, I don't think you could dislike it. It's really good.
No, it's really good. For me, if I really had any small nitpicks, it really probably just be Kage himself. Sometimes he's annoying, but he's definitely an integral part to the story, so he's there for a reason. But then sometimes I just look at him like, I want to punch you in the face too, Kage. But he does have his nice moments as well, and it's like, okay, yeah, good job, Kage. There we go. That's why you're here. That's why you're here.
That's funny. Yeah, the sidekick character. I mean, it's a hit or miss for people. I don't necessarily have a problem with him, but I definitely see where you're coming from.
Yeah. But then, definitely towards the latter half of the season, because they did like part 1 and part 2, like how a lot of animes are doing now. Part 2 definitely picks the fuck up, and part 2 was wild. Like, this shit is wild. Definitely, but it's definitely, I can say that this anime was not plagued by the bad ending. This theme that we had going on here a little bit for the day. For a little bit, yeah. But so it definitely has a nice ending, and I really hope it comes back for a season 2. I hope it wasn't just another one and done anime type situation. I really hope we see more Boji to come in the future, because they didn't show a lot of world building, but the world building that they did show definitely makes you want to see more about it. Yeah, and I just hope we get another season.
Yeah,
I just hope we get another season.
I agree.
So, any other things about Ranking of Kings that you want to mention?
No, I think we nailed it, man. I think we nailed it. I definitely check this one out. If there was anyone from this list that you might not have watched,
correct.
If you take anything, I'd probably say this one. Like if I wanted you guys to take anything away from it, it'd be this series, because it definitely deserves your time and attention. It's really well made.
I agree. Any sleeper hits that you might want to, not sleeper hits, honorable mentions maybe you want to bring up, or you good?
From this season specifically, or just in general?
From fall 2021, yeah.
Not necessarily. I feel like everybody who watched our regular stuff knows how much I love Mashugo Tensei. So,
okay.
Yeah, I mean, like, I fall was pretty good, but, like, honestly, I feel like all the stuff that needed to have been watched from fall got watched. So, I don't necessarily have any recommendations other than the stuff that we put on our regular episodes. Yeah, okay. That's about it.
I guess overall, for a season, would you say the fall 2021 anime that they came up with a good showing? Overall,
it was 86 was a part of fall originally, right? Yes. 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 I fall was really good. It honestly was kind of ridiculously good in a way. And it alley-ooped for winter. So
correct.
I really recommend going back and watching some of these if you have not checked them out. They're really good. Most of them I feel like are pretty short too, because I think most of the stuff we recommended was 12 episodes.
Yeah, most of them was 12, 13 episodes, which is what you want when you're not really sure what to watch. You just want something quick to watch. The good 12 to 13 episode anime will do you good. So definitely go and check these out. So I'm going to run these down real quick again. So starting off, Platinum Man, watch this at your own discretion. Me and McMillian, we really didn't like that one that much. But once again, don't just take our word for it. Definitely go give it your own chance.
I could see the only reason I felt like we kept it on here was more of like I could see some like this being a buyer beware situation. Like it didn't, Correct. It might not have resonated with us, but that doesn't necessarily mean it won't resonate with you. So
correct. Number 2, Takt Op Destiny, amazing soundtrack, amazing animation. Once again, Mappa did this, so of course the animation is gonna bang. Beautiful. The story of us following along with our 3 characters traveling across America to fix their issue, that it was nice. Though the ending may not have been
the best,
very cohesive, and the best is the journey that we went along with these characters is definitely a must watch in my opinion. Going along from there, World's Finest Assassins gets reincarnated
as an aristocrat.
As an aristocrat. I have not seen this one personally, but from what McMillian has said here today, I'm definitely give it a chance. I love isekai, so I'll definitely give it a chance. Moving on from there, the Faraway Paladin. Once again, it is a very heavy fantasy focused world. There is a big aspect on religion in this show, so if you don't really like religion and stuff like that, to just buy a little bit buyer beware on this one as well. But I think the story that we're following along with Will going along and becoming the Faraway Paladin, it's a nice feel good watch. Not nothing groundbreaking or anything like that, but once again, just a nice feel good watch as well. Moving on from there, Blue Period. You want to talk a little bit more about this?
So like I said, just a nice feel good, chase your dream type of slice of life. If you ever, in my opinion, if you need a pick me up, or if you want to watch a character like really try hard at something and give their all, that in hopes that they might make you feel like you could do more. Blue Period's a good one. Like when I watched it, I felt inspired at some parts as well. But also, it's a really nice, just like if you want something to watch and you want it to actually have a good, like, nice arc, Blue Period's a good, definitely one to just sit down and watch. Like I said, the English dub is also pretty, in my opinion, pretty good, pretty well done. Okay.
So, moving on from there, Fena the Fena Pirate Princess. If you love treasure hunt shows / movies, definitely give this one a watch. It definitely gave, like I said, I had very National Treasure type vibes when I was watching it. Once again, though, the ending is
out there.
It's out there. It's out there. But once again, just like Talk, I'm not gonna let the ending take away from the journey that we did to get there. Great characters, great antagonists. I think this probably had the best antagonists out of all the animes out today, the ones that we talked about. So I'll stand by that. Probably minus Ranking the Kings, but I'll stand by that. I was about
to say Ranking Kings, the antagonist is kind of crazy. So
yeah, that's why I said minus Ranking the Kings. Other than that, definitely, once again, if you like treasure hunt type shows and movies, definitely give Fena Pirate Princess a watch. And apparently the dub is good. I didn't watch it in dub, but it is always a plus when the anime has a good dub, because those are very few and rare that come in between. And last but not least, the ranking of kings, which once again I didn't see it on anybody's radar, but it blew up. If you have not, you probably already watched it by now. But if you have not watched it for whatever reason, due to the art style, you're thinking the art style looks funny, like Million said, or you think the story or the boji might not be that compelling, please give this one a chance. If you don't watch anything else on this list, definitely give Ranking of Kings a chance. It's definitely the best one out of the list here we have today. And once again, it's just always few in between when you find an anime that it had nobody had it on their radar, and it just hits like Ranking of Kings does. Mm-hmm. So definitely give this one a chance. With that being said, of course, fall 2021 was over a while ago. So sorry for getting this out later than intended, but it is here now. The spring 2022 is right around the corner, which is means winter 2022 is now ending. We're going to be going and watching some winter 2022 anime, so we can come with some recommendations for that season as well. We're going to try our best not to have this one as long as the fall one, because one thing we want to do is we want to try and get at least one special episode out a month, which we're going to try and chug these out some more. So definitely be on the lookout for more special episodes. So yeah, the next one of this type, at least as far as recommendations, will be our winter 2022 recommendations. So be on the lookout for that. And also let us know what winter 2022 recommendations that you guys have, as well as what fall 2021 animes that you guys watched that we may have not watched that you think that are sleeper hits as well. Because we did not watch everything from fall 2021, and we're probably not going to watch everything from fall winter 2022 as well. So we can't get to them all. So if there's something that we did miss that you think people should watch as well, please let us know so we can check them out ourselves. We always look for stuff to add to our watch list. And yeah, is there anything else that you want to say, McMillian?
No, hopefully, I'll just kind of take us out of here. So,
all right,
appreciate you
out of here.
So, like as always, guys, appreciate you guys for watching / listening. If you guys want to stay up to date with us, please consider hitting that subscribe button. For my audio only listeners, please consider hitting that follow button, giving us a good review, a like, letting us know your own opinions on the fall season. Hopefully, we expanded your queue, if you will. As always, guys, remember that our regular episodes come out on Wednesday. The special one might be coming to you on a Friday or Saturday, so just be on the lookout for those. If you want to stay up to date with us in terms of like where we make our announcements or see some memes, on Twitter you can follow us at Gurren Otakus, and on Instagram you can follow us at Gurren Otaku Council. With all that said, the meeting is now adjourned, guys. Peace. Have a great week.